We're here at the European Parliament in Brussels today to attend an event entitled Islam, Extremism and Democracy, and also to mark the launch of an important new book by Dr Seyed Azmayesh entitled New Researches on the Quran, Why and How Two Versions of Islam Entered the History of Mankind. What are your opinions on the Quranic values of a Muslim civilization?
Yes.
And how do they compare and relate to our Western values of human rights and democracy?
Thank you very much. In this book, I try to explain the existence, two versions of Islam. Islam-Madani and Islam-Badavi.
Hello, Dr. Azmayesh. Thank you for your time and thank you for this great presentation we had today. We saw it was a very fantastic event. We had great feedback. So today the event was based on your new book, which is called The New Researches About the Quran, and you discussed about why and how two versions of Islam exist in the history of mankind. However, my question is that we witnessed in the event, there was exhibitions of paintings about drop. I want to know what was that relation to the presentation about the new books. Why were we seeing pictures of the drops?
According to the history of the art, one of the most important the prophet in the line of Abrahamic prophethood was Prophet Mani, the son of Patak. His famous book called Arjang is in fact the explanation about the teachings of Jesus. Recently they found the seal of prophecy of Mani on which it is written Mani, apostle of Jesus Christ. So it shows that really Mani was a prophet and he was holding the message of Jesus and propagating the real teachings of Jesus through not only the written text but especially by using the art of painting in his main book, which is called Arjang. Another name of the same book is Evangelium or Annunciation. So Mani, not only he was a prophet, but he was an artist. And his book is full of the message, visual message. Even for those who were not educated people, just by looking at the book, they could get the message of unity and diversity. So the main point in the teachings of all of the prophets and in the Quran is the relationship between diversity and unity. Diversities of the drops in the unity of the ocean. Each drop is emanated from the same ocean. It is coming from ocean and returning back to the ocean. And we keep in our mind that we are coming from the heaven and we return back to the heaven. That we have another reality than our physical body. We are the metaphysical beings and not physical beings. We are remaining once we are separated from our biological body. So this is very important message which can orient the attention of everybody to the goal of the creation, why the existence exists, why the beings appear on the surface of this ocean like the bubbles, like the drops, and they return back and disappear in the ocean. So there are a lot of things which are not possible to be explained, but they can get by looking, just by looking. So when the imagination is created through the frame of the painting, etc., the message can flow between the artist and the audience. It was because of this that we tried to bring the message of unity, the universal consciousness, the collective consciousness, which is introduced by the existence of the ocean and its relationship with individual consciousness, which is introduced by the drops to everybody, the message of unity.
The question I have, so how would this be related to the problem we're experiencing with extremism, especially this Islamic extremism? How can we put that message forward?
So the drops, they are emanated from the same origin and they return back to the same origin, and even there is the diversity of the drops. All of them are equals in the eyes of the ocean, from the angle of view of the ocean. This is the unity. But unfortunately, when the drop which is coming from the heaven and falls down in the jar, in the recipient of the body, which is held by the ego would like to give its own color to this drop and would like to say that I am better than everybody else, and doesn't respect this unity in the origin of all of the drops. For this reason, we see that the diversity, which is a source of the richness, becomes a source of difference and a struggle between people. One would like to impose his opinion, the opinion of her ego or his ego, to others, the dictatorships, the despotism, etc., etc. This is the main problem, the big problem, which is imposed itself to the history of mankind from the beginning till now. So the message of the Quran is put away all of the difference and look at the common points between us from the angle of view of the soul, of the astral level of our reality, where we can be with each other one, like all of the drops which can make one ocean. This is very important. For this reason, today, nowadays, we see that the extremism is to negate each other, to say that you are bad and I am the best. And they are using the force and the violence under the name and under the flag of Islam and the teachings of the prophets. Our mission, our task, our ambition is to explain to everybody that Quran would like to establish tolerance, peace, love between human beings, and not at all. The Quran is against of each kind of the usage of each kind of violence and force, and no tolerance between the beings which are living with each other as the citizen in the same city or in the globe, on the surface of the globe, as the human beings. So according to the Quran, each individual from the moment that he is created in the womb of his mother or her mother is representative of God, and he has the crown of God upon his head or her head. For this reason, we must be respectful to each other. We are not allowed to give more weight to our part, to our side, and neglect the importance of our neighbor. So this is the principle of spiritual chivalry, which is explained in the frame of one surah of the Quran, which is named the Surah of Al-Insan, human being, in which a perfect man, a man who reached to the perfection, is a person who is altruist and not egoist, who is thinking to others, who is helping others, who doesn't impose his opinion to others. So all of these principles are explained during this painting, and by exposing the relationship between drops and ocean.
Thank you very much. And the other question I have is, at the end of the event, we had listened to 3 pieces of music. One was from a Rumi poetry, which was translated. Could you a little bit talk about the music side? Why was there music played in this event?
So another manner that the monotheists and the followers of the unity and the followers of the prophets, the real spiritual masters, they used in order to bring the message of love and unity to others is the language of the music and the rhythms, especially the poet, the monotheist poet, such as Rumi, Sadi, Baba Tahir, Hafiz, they talked about unity. And for this reason, always when we have a gathering, we invite people who know the secret of the rhythms, and they expose the rhythms in order to penetrate this message of unity and to bring together the hearts of the audience, of everybody in the audience, to each other, and to develop the seed of love in the heart of everybody. So the message of Rumi is unity, and how Rumi, he explained that he removed the duality from his angle of view to see everybody one and equal with other one, with everything else. So this is the main message of Rumi, that I removed from my opinion believe to duality, I reach to the unity. Unity is what I see, unity is what I witness, unity is what I look for, unity is the subject of my poetry and my message. So it was the main message of Rumi for others. And the other poetry which was sung by the group of the music was a poetry of Sa'di, who is talking about the real human being, who is thinking to other human being. He is not a selfishness person. He is not an egoist, but he is connected to others, and he is getting the feeling of the others, and he is in help when somebody is in need. And this is the main message of the spiritual teachings of the school of the Quran.
Okay. I have another question that was raised by one of the participants who would like to raise this question. The question was that we understand that there is a lot of misconception about the Quran. Obviously, we could see that the new researches that's been released is a lot of new information, and it's not really been practiced the same way as it has been what the followers of these Islamic fanaticism are doing. The question was, so because Quran, they're saying, is so complicated because it's in a different language, and with your researches we actually discover that there is more than one Arabic language, and when it was written, how it was written, so it is very, very complicated. So how can we overcome this situation that if it is something complicated, it is being misinterpreted by so many people in the history? So that's one question. Well, how do we overcome this misinterpretation? And my second question is, if it is so complicated, why do we need to have a book such as Quran Bible, Torah? Why do we, if everything is based on unity and we all are the same, why do we need somebody to tell us that the book you should follow to in order to reach a point? Why is the books even necessary if we talk about unity?
So the Quran is a guidance to the unity, is a guidance to develop the spiritual side of ourselves. So the seed of the soul exists in each one of us. Me is the soul, but it is necessary to develop all of the capacities of me. How to protect me from the desires of the ego. We need a method of education, and the Quran include all of the methods to develop the spirituality, the spiritual side of real me, of real self, and to protect the real self from the temptation of the false self. Of course, it is a matter of the study. It is like how to know human being, how to know ourselves. The most complicated things and the most easy thing, the closest being to us is me. But the most complicated problem is to know this me. Who knows himself, knows his creator, and knows the whole creation. But for this, it is necessary to follow a method. So the Quran should be seen like the method of education, like the book of physics, like the book of chemistry, like the book of biology, that it is composed of different levels. The Quran as a book that you buy from the bookseller, it is composed of different layers, and one should start to study the Quran and go layer by layer till reaching to the end and to know himself by using this method. I will explain you more in other opportunity.